Hello, I'm EnterElysium. Welcome to Aurora 4X, the amazingly fantastic, frustratingly annoying space strategy game. We are busy building a fleet, and by building I mean designing. Unfortunately, severe lack of resources means we probably won't be building it for a little bit longer. I have told one of our groups to go and grab a load of mines, take them to some of our places just to kind of try and get our minerals up to scratch, but that'll take a little time. Either way, I've also told us to start building our new set of missiles, which we're gonna need for our missile cruisers we designed. This time, however, we're gonna design ourselves... Where is it? Another destroyer, a 20,000 ton iconical destroyer, and also 10,000 tons. I was trying to think what we could put in a 10,000 ton chassis. It's gonna be small. It's only going to have, like, the one engine, and by small, I mean, 10,000 tons, compared to our, 30,000 ton cruiser. It's only going to have the one engine, one shield generator. You could say, well, make it faster. Well, yes, but then it won't really benefit from a lot of the fleet stuff, and it would need a new engine. I think 10,000 tons is fine. Oh, pardon me. So, with that said, you're complaining over here, subject delta. Fine. Whatever. We're going to go and whip up design. We're going to grab the... let's go with the Onyx. And you're going to be a destroyer. Perfect. So, it's another 20,000 ton vessel. We've already designed our PD vessel. We've designed our missile vessel. We need a laser vessel. And this is probably one to be it. It's going to be just a load of beam weapons. Potentially could add a little bit of missile capacity, but if we do, it won't be anything huge. The main purpose of this vessel is to be a beam weapon vessel. And that means it probably can have some quad beam weapons that can function as backup PD. I was going to be like PD or point defense, and I said P defense. I'm like, that's a different thing. Either way, we're going to chuck in the basic building blocks, which for us is thermal sensor, shield generator, with those, and up here, 2 engines. Perfect. We'll also chuck in auxiliary control, combat information center, main engineering, and a damage control, and an ECM. And we'll consider having an ECCM beam fire control, but we'll get to that. So, quad laser. Straight up. We're going in with the quad lasers. See how many we can get in. For now, I've got 4 there. That probably will come down. We'll also want to grab a normal sensor, and then a 5-ton backup sensor. And we'll want to grab one of the, unfortunately, larger beam fire controls. And then a backup for that. Okay, that's not bad, and we've still got room to play with. I'm gonna start adding some fuel now, because I also know how much fuel each ship needs. Thankfully, because we're kind of using the same multiplier, it's per 10,000 tons, you get a shield and engine. You also get 4 large fuel tanks. We have a large fuel tank already, so we're going to just go to 8 because it's 20,000 tons. Perfect. And we'll add in a bunch of maintenance stuff as well. So we probably want to increase the deployment time to 18. Worth checking. Did I do that last time for Destroyer Escort? I did. Okay. And then maintenance storage bays. We'll probably go for 6 for now, and then maybe top that up later. Yeah, that's a reasonable start. Okay, we've still got room to play with, and obviously we need to get our generators going. So we're going to add spinal laser. I think spinal laser is a fair cop, like, it's good. We'll also add a beam fire control that can be used at normal velocity. So it doesn't need to be quite as large. It's just the 8k tracking speed rather than the 20. And then we'll hook this up with a bunch of hull-mounted lasers. Okay. This is a good amount of beams. Like, we have the same amount of beam weapons as our missile cruiser, plus 4 quad lasers. So, you know, we've got 16 lasers being fired every 5 seconds. Admittedly, they are only 4 damage, but that adds up. And obviously, it'll be able to track pretty much anything. We will need to put power in here. That's the only concern. And it's going to be a pretty power-hungry craft. Like, we've got... Each quad is going to use 16. Then we've got... yeah, if we try using 16-sized power plants, that would work. Because we need 16 times 4, and then effectively another 25. So where are our power plants? 1, 2, 3, 4... and then 20 and 5. Done. That was actually remarkably quick. We might want like a backup fire control for all of these. But this one is honestly over-spec'd. It will work for our, fast-firing quad weapons. But it also works for our main weapons as well. Like, our main weapons, if they don't have this fire control, can definitely use this as a backup. It might even be worthwhile getting rid of this. We haven't actually added any armor. I've just realized that now. That's gonna... Yeah, there we go. That's significantly added to the weight. 4 quads is overkill. I wasn't quite expecting to get away with that, so I'm happy with 2 quads. We can even get rid of the backup beam fire control. And that way, these fire controls, yeah, they might be overkill. One of them will do the quads. The other one will do our other weapons, which don't need that extra tracking speed. But if one of them gets blown out, it'll double as perfectly good for shooting down missiles with the quads. So it kind of gives us that backup that we need. We could even potentially get this up, I think, to 11 armor. Yeah, because our maintenance is too high at the moment. What's our maintenance in our destroyer escort? 3,300. We've got 3,600 here. We don't quite need that. And then engineering space. Yeah, that gives us a little bit of room left. Honestly, this is great. We will maybe need an anti-missile sensor. That would be sensible. Yeah, it'd be sensorable. Yeah, I'll shut up. That does mean that we're now a little bit overweight again. The anti-missile sensor is not small. And I'm not going to put a backup on for that. It's too big for that. We haven't got an ECCM. Again, that's acceptable. Acceptable compromise. We're only a little bit over 85 tons. Trying to cut 85 tons, like if we remove one of the beamfire controls and go to having the backup beamfire control being unfortunately slower, that would work. Yeah, and then we actually have about 232 tons to play with. Did we give you a naming convention? We gave you sword frigates. I'm going to give you G2. Cobra destroyers. No, too small. Also, don't know if we have enough names in that list, but we'll give it a go. I don't know what 40k Empire is. Do you mean Imperium? And if you mean Imperium, what are these other things here? Grand Cruiser? It's free. We're not using it. Other? I don't know if that's going to work. Let's go try Firestorm. I don't know if there's going to be a big enough list, but we'll give it a go. And we will give you a good priority. Okay. Spare tonnage. We could put in an ECCM. We don't even need 2 of them. If we put in 2... Pardon me. If we put in 2, that would get both of our weapons. Could we cut anything for that? You probably can't fit 2 in. We'll just take the 1, and then we'll fill spare space up with... What should we fill it up with? Maybe supplies or something? Yeah, a little bit more supply. There we go. 20,000 tons. Lovely. This was pretty quick and easy to put together. We've got 2 quads. We've got 4 of our main weapon, our ultraviolet and a spinal. We've got 2 beam fire controls. If one goes out, the other one can double quite easily. We've got 1 ECM, 1 ECCM, 2 engines, 20 billion kilometer range, 2 shields. That's a pretty decent vessel. Okay, so now we're going to get to the... what should our 10,000 be? The Rasputin, maybe, or the Mighty Trick. Let's use the Mighty Trick. So you're going to be... It's a bit bigger than a frigate, but I'd still say it's just frigate. 10,000 tons, we'll call a frigate. Something smaller would be a corvette, so we'll call you a frigate. And the question is what your role will be. Because we've got laser, we've got anti-missile, we've got missile. What is your role going to be? Okay, I set it up with the basics. It has a standard sensor for now. It has ECM. It has 1 engine. It has 1 shield, 1 thermal. And it's the correct number of fuel tanks. I mean, admittedly, this is split into fuel storage rather than fuel storage large, just because otherwise it would have fuel storage large times 4. And then 4 attacks could potentially mean it has no power because all the fuel's gone, and then that would be very bad for us. So what I've done is I've split each of the other 2 into 5 fuel storages. Now, I kind of thought of an idea what it could do. I was going to originally have the command ship have anti-missile missiles. And then that could, you know, help defend the fleet. But the command ship already has a lot to do. A giant sensor, probably a hangar bay, a couple of weapons, jump drive. It might be beneficial to have a frigate that's an anti-missile frigate. And that way, you know, we don't have to have loads of them around. We just need, oh, we're going up against people with missiles. 1. They've got a lot of missiles. 2. You know, something small and easy to add. So, it seems like a good idea. We're going to need a size 1 missile launcher. And the reload rate is going to be important. Now, we could potentially go to 2 times the reload. Unlike normal missiles where you want to fire them in a huge volley, and then you don't care about how long it's going to take you to fire the next volley, because it's just getting through the enemy defenses. This is just a sheer how many attacks can you get against an enemy missile before it hits you. If your anti-missile missile misses it, which it's probably going to do 70% of the time, you want to be able to fire another missile. So you want to be able to reload fast. So I'm debating about whether we want to go with, you know, 10 second or 20. And I think it's 10 seconds because this does save us, you know, 25% the size, but it also takes twice as long. We can just fire more missiles more quickly. We don't care about volley size, so it's going to be a size 1 missile launcher. Size 1 missile launcher. And it is mass 50 tons. And that's never going to change. There's no tech that's going to make this better. We need a company name. Seraph Lyons. Okay. And we will instant that. Missile launcher, size 1. Okay. Now, we want to be able to fire, I'm saying, like, at least 24 missiles at the same time. It doesn't need to necessarily be like, this needs to be able to take out all the enemy missiles attacking. It needs to be able to reduce them to the point where point defense can deal with it, or we add more frigates to the fleet. It doesn't need to do everything itself. It's a 10,000 ton vessel. I'm not expecting it to be, you know, the be-all and end-all at the end of the day. We can probably get rid of the Combat Information Center. The hit chance doesn't carry over to missiles as far as I'm aware. Missiles have their own hit chance, so probably get rid of that. It is 150 tons. What else do we want? We want armor. Say 10 for now. We might want to reduce that later. Yeah, it's only a frigate. Go down to 8. Deployment time. Did I do deployment time for the Onyx? Yeah, I did. Yeah, destroyers are pretty tanky. This frigate, maybe not so. Sorry, Mighty Trick. we'll also, well, I remember, G2, select random. And then I guess we will try calling you after Cobra Destroyers. Not that I think there's many names in that list. We'll give it a go. And go to the 13th commander priority. Right. We'll also want to say, you know, grab few maintenance storage bays. And some engineering bays. Just for now. We'll have to, you know, tweak this later. We will need a sensor capable of detecting enemy missiles, and here is where it's going to get tricky. We need to be able to detect enemy missiles coming from quite far out so that we can launch ours to intercept. So this one is not going to cut it. This is currently spec'd for what? A 1 million distance? Yeah. That's not enough. By the time we launch, their missiles come at us. 5 seconds, their missiles are probably going to cover anywhere from 200,000 to, on the upper end, very upper end, maybe double that, 400,000. And we need to be able to then launch, well, they then travel that again. So we kind of want to be aiming for at least 2 million. I'm going to personally say 5 million would be nice, but we're going to be talking a large sensor. And that is the one downside about putting this on a frigate. The sensor is going to be pretty damn chunky. So we can get rid of this sensor. We won't need that. A backup sensor, yes, that's still viable. It's only 5 tons. I'm going to design ourselves a pretty hefty new one. Obviously, the resolution has to be as slow as possible. And then it's just a matter of pushing this up. Yeah, and notice that a 2,000 ton sensor is only detecting at 4 million. We're going to need to go with our minimum 2 million. 500 tons. It's big, but it's not unworkable. We still need to get a magazine in this ship, but it's not unworkable. That's... range is completely different because that's 2 million and targeting a size 6 missile with a mass of 500 tons by Jeffrey's Turin. Okay. We will instant that. Right. But that 1,000 tons left, bearing in mind that obviously a bit of armor would be nice, but we might not get that. And also that this is mostly going to be magazine. So, and also if there's any space left, more missile launchers. These don't need to be designed for volley. We don't really care about volley, so we don't need to make the missile launcher an exact multiplier. We also don't really care about the multiplier because it's size 1. It's the minimum size of missiles, so we just care about the number. If you have a look at this one we made earlier, that would have 500 missiles in it. Obviously, it's a bit large for us. Shame. But that's kind of the sort of thing we'd be aiming for. Kind of wish I could mount this. Let's see, how would we do that? How much armor would we have to lose? We could do it. We need to go down to 4 armor. And we need a missile fire control, which, again, we don't have. Well. Back to where we were. Right, missile fire control. Let's do that. So, this is basically the same as we did earlier. We want this missile fire control, active sensor, blah, 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 resolution minimum. And then we need to be able to target at 2 million. It's 125 tons at the moment. Missile fire control is a quarter the size of your normal sensor. So, do we want to add a little bit to make up in case there is a bit of ECM on this? Yes, I think so. We'll go a little bit more. So this is an MFC 21/E8 with a fire control rated for 2.28 million. We can round that to 2.3 against size 6 and a mass of 150 tons, with the company being Taran. Taran are really showing up recently. We'll instant that out. Okay. Redundancy is basically going to be a non-thing. This vessel already only has the one engine. It already only has the one shield generator. It already only has the one powerful search sensor capable of detecting enemy missiles. It's not really going to go much beyond that. So, yes, we're not going to worry about duplicating some of these things. How are we going to do this in terms of the cargo hold? By that I mean the magazine. We won't add any base hit to kill. 320 seems like... I mean, you might say, oh, that seems fine, right? I kind of want to get 500 if possible. Obviously, that's going to be a really tough sell, considering we only have 1,000 tons left. And we'd probably need about 2,000 tons to really pull that off. We have overspec'd in terms of maintenance supplies, so there would be a little bit of that coming down. We could reduce the missile launches just to 20. Again, this is much more about if we can reduce the number to the point where our point defense can manage, rather than we need to wipe them out. So we could maybe save 200 tons of the missile launches if we desired. We could get rid of thermal sensors. This is never going to be running by itself. In fact, I should probably change it to a frigate escort. Escort frigate is not a thing? Oh. I just wonder if there's an E for escort. I was having an escort frigate. I think we'll just leave it as frigate for now. It's a shame there isn't a escort frigate one. Like, could make there be an escort frigate. Actually might be a good idea. I think that escort frigate is certainly a good designation. Destroyer escort is DE. So this would be an FE. Yeah. Okay. This is new ship class. Nope, it is not. That's the wrong button. New hull, which it's not. It's a designation. It's. But whatever. We're gonna name you frigate escort. And then FE. So yeah, we've got frigate escort, frigate leader. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Let's try reducing the missile launchers. We just throw more vessels rather than be able to throw more missiles in the first wave and then later on realize, oh, we destroyed the first waves completely, but the later waves we have nothing to fire against, they're going to get through the point defense. The point defense is better off taking a bit out of every wave than it is at just taking one huge wave that it can't deal with. That gives us a bit more room to work with. And obviously, you know, this is going to require crew, which is going to require more space for the crew quarters, so we have to play this carefully. Even a vessel this size is going to have, you know, 250 crew at the end. Quite surprising. Could lower the armor a little bit. I'm not a fan of going particularly low with the armor. And I'm not worried about hit to kill as it's a much smaller vessel. We get to 512, but again, we're running 1.6. I don't think we can do 1.6. Maybe if we just reduce our maintenance a little bit. Okay. We might be able to get like almost 1.6 to fly. What if we go for 400 space? This obviously is going to blow up if it's hit. Like, the H to K is 4. But let's find out. Okay. Magazine. 400. I'm not even going to bother stating 400 times 1. That would be silly. You are an 80 magazine with compressed carbon armor. HTK is 4. And your mass, I'm not even going to give you like multiple magazines, it's just the one. 1.25 kilotons. Designed by Taran Borgesigan. Taran, what? Give someone else a break. We'll instant that out. Alright, refresh tech. Magazine. Okay. The maintenance does need to go up. And it's holding. Ooh, okay, we're 4 tons over if we go back to our 8 armor. And I'm totally okay with that. Obviously not with the 4 tons, but I'm totally okay with that setup. The 4 tons is going to be quite easy to solve. We take away a fuel storage, because we're only aiming for 20 billion, and we're a little bit over. And then we replace that with a small, 2, 3, 4, tiny, and a fighter. 10,000 tons exactly, 8,000 exactly. We have the ability to fire 20 rounds of 20 missiles, which might still be overkill. It's only firing 20 times. You want to be able to fire a lot more than that realistically. But in fairness, we can always re-arm afterwards. We'll have to see how it works. If need be, we can always disable some launchers to just slow the fire rate. Won't be too much of an issue. And, you know, you live and learn. The mighty trick should do the job. And it's, for a frigate, relatively tanky. I mean, entire 10% of the frigate is taken up with shield. So, yeah, that's true for all of the vessels, actually. Yeah. 10% dedicated to shield, in addition to the pretty beefy armor, is actually a lot. Yeah, the main component being geranium. Okay. Now, we're actually going to design probably some anti-missile missiles to go in this. But we might not build them. And the reason being is, I want to design them so we can talk about anti-missile missiles, because we just built a damn ship for it. But we actually have precursor anti-missile missiles that are sitting there. And while we don't know the exact specs of their other missiles, their anti-missile missiles are going to be good, because we know they're going to be size 1 and designed to kill missiles. So, that said, we're going to fire up a missile optimizer. Maximize accuracy. We want the missile size to be 1, the warhead strength to be 1, desired range to be 2 million, and this is in million, so 2. Missile will be going towards us, so it probably doesn't need to be 2, but whatever. Sensors and stuff, we don't need. Okay. Hmm. 56,000. Now, note that our missiles travel just under 40. There's no 40 to hit here, but look at the 50. Only a 19% chance to intercept. At 20, it's got a 48% chance to intercept. So it looks like my guess of we're going to get like maybe 30% hits is about right. But that's fine. It'll take down a few missiles every time. And that's what we require. So this is probably going to be fine. I don't think we need anything more. Maybe we could go for this one. It doesn't seem to get the extra hit, even with that extra speed. Why? Do you sacrifice like agility? Yes, you sacrifice agility. Okay. So, I think you're good, actually. We're good to just close you down. Commander. Knight Commander. Should you be Commander or should you be full on Knight Commander? Yeah, you should probably be just Commander. Okay. I think you're fine. Made ship surprisingly quickly this time. So we will close you. We'll bring up our missile design. And warhead strength. Value 5. We want to go to like 0.2. So we can get a value of 1. Fuel capacity. Pretty minimal. Agility. significantly more. Engine. Power. Maxed out. There we go. What are we going to name this? Stiletto. Like a fast, swift, jabbing thing. Yeah. So stiletto. Don't need to put the 1 in there. ASM. Oh, it's not an ASM. It's an anti-missile missile. It's an AMM. I don't need to put the 1 in. That's standard. And then your range is 2. And your size is 2. I guess maybe that should be a hyphen there. It means something different than the hyphen would normally do, because normally the hyphen's the damage. But we don't need the damage. We also don't need the warhead, the weapon size, because both of those are 1. So I guess we'll just use that as the range. Stiletto AMM2. Okay. Company name? Dracos Vorgosigan. Now, we might not make this. We'll have to see when we pick up some precursor missiles, but we'll be able to do that when we have our colliers built. We'll instant you up. Okay. I think that's going to be pretty handy. Let's retool for the mighty trick. And we'll have you retool for the Onyx. It's the Onyx, right? I just want to double check this so I'm not doing something wrong. Because once you start retooling for something, if you get it wrong, it's very frustrating. You have to basically go into the database to edit it and be like, oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay. The only one we aren't retooling for is at day, because we don't have the jump drive, so we haven't designed the actual command cruiser. And quite honestly, the only one we're actually retooling for is the Ice Lord. Everything else is actually saying, hey, I'm ready to go. The issue is we only have 1,000 uranium available, so no, I'm not going to start building the military ships yet. We need to get that uranium. We can't do anything until we have it, and that uranium has gone down fast between episodes. Probably because of all those fuel stations we're building. Jagnath A, send 4-trip spaceport to Sleepy Z. Okay. Thank you, past me. I should do that more often. Earth. Load. Spaceport. Go to. Sleepy Zoe. Unload. Come back. Regret your life choices about why you're doing such a ridiculously long journey. Refuel. Can you repeat that in time? I don't know if you can get that done in the time we need. Is anyone else going to be free soon? You are. 120 days. Okay, we'll only repeat it once. And I'm actually going to create a template out of that. That's going to be spaceport to Sleepy Z. And then who's going to be next in Sol? You're 120 days. Yeah. When you get to Earth, send message. And you don't need to do it once, wouldn't you? Because you're a group of 20. Send once to Sleepy Z with spaceport. Great. Oh, no, wait, stop. We just got a report back from Turgle. Logistics research, 70%. That's actually not the best, but it's still, you know, still good. Just logistics is probably the least important one. That's fine. It's still definitely usable. And it's 70%, so it's not low. Yes, we want to take advantage of this. We will need to do some terraforming, but that's something we want to take advantage of. What we'll do is we'll send over like 5 labs, and those 5 labs will suddenly be much more powerful. They'll be like the equivalent of 10 labs. So effectively, we get to double our lab capacity. Plus, you know, why not? Wait, Darlock A3? Where is Darlock? Well, that's another ether rift. That makes it 5 ether rifts we've discovered. I'm not liking this. Especially because I, noticed that there's an ancient construct in the system. It's next to Berathor. Okay. Got to keep an eye out for Berathor as well now. There we go, Darlock. Oh, it's next to Planet. Yeah, obviously, and unexplored jump point. Yay! More dangerous jump points. That's 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. 5 of them. Oh, dear God. Okay, and that one's actually pretty far away. I'm going to say we have to risk going into this place, even though we've no idea what's going on. We need to find out what's happening at Darlock. If that turns out to be something particularly useful... Oh, does refreshing this help? Yeah, there we go. Logistics. Darlock A3. We're coming for you. Do a resupply, a refuel. You don't need to do a resupply. Or commercial. And then to Darlock. And it's Darlock A3. Titan is still complaining about a worker shortage, but admittedly it is getting a lot less. So we're going to grab more people from from Earth, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry. I know you've done this a lot, but we're only going to do it 5 more times and then we'll be good. And repeat. And then refuel. And then you'll probably start taking people to the Holy Rock. Okay, I think this is a pretty important moment. The Sapphire Ebonies are not going to be going to Titan. They're going to go Earth, load colonists, auto route through to Aliwiz, the Holy Rock. We'll unload our colonists there, and then all the way back to Sol again. Now, obviously, we could give them the engine upgrade, but we're better off just building new ships and then giving them the engine upgrade later. So, and then we'll refuel. And yeah, do that maybe like 9 times. That way, well, 10 times, 9 times again. That way you'll have done 10 million people. Oh, thank you, past me. Send once to... Oh, I should have put the name in it. Either way, the name is actually there, luckily. So we will order template. And then actually only do it once. So we will remove last. There. There we go. Perfect. Now, how are we getting on with the production of our fuel stations? Slow, and it will slow down even more so if we run out of geranium. That's the issue here. Do you use much geranium? Yeah, quite a lot. I want to give them more percentage. Like reduce our mine, but if I do, I run out of geranium. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna have to keep going. I don't think there's a way to really solve this. The incoming geranium is the issue. Nothing we can fix here that's gonna alter that fact. Okay, how are we doing with our black suns? They'll be done. Well, the first one will be done relatively soon. We can find out what the missiles are that the precursors have behind. Okay, we have Black Sun 001 in our battle fleet. Perfect. Ooh, it's actually going to use an in-system jump point. This is really cool. Okay, so now Sol has in-system jump points everywhere. People at Earth are in fact going to the Grange point here to jump to the Uranus jump point here. That'll probably save them about 1/3 of the journey. Ah, neat. Alright, that is going to be very helpful. The Neptune one, less so. It's kind of on the wrong side. But it will eventually get around. Okay, we've completed work on electronic countermeasures 2. Which means that we could just probably replace them on all of our ships. We haven't even started building the ships yet. Okay, so it turns out I can't actually really pick up the missiles because they don't show out in the loadout screen. And there's no way to say, hey, you should be full of this missile. Yeah, this is frustrating. I want to load ordnance. You can't use missiles, unfortunately. That doesn't seem to be the case right now. Oh well. Scrap everything on the planet. Why not? This sucks. 30,000 missiles there that I wanted. Oh well. We got some fuels, a few million liters of fuel. I had a little bit of minerals and a little bit of wealth. None of those are anywhere near as interesting as, 6,000 high-tech missiles, but sure. Oh, well. Black Sun, you can just auto-route back to Earth for now. We'll use you again at a later date. Alright, what we can do is, well, we should also start building some squids, but what we can do while we wait to build our vessels and we build up a little supply of neutronium, and, well, mostly geranium, actually, sorry. We can head over to industry, components, find ourselves our engine, which is just Gallicite, which we have. We are going through it pretty quick. And say, hey, I would like to make, how many do we want to make of these? 60 for now. And then free up like 10%. Honestly, auto mines could probably be halted again. And we'll put that up there instead. Now, they're actually a bit more complicated because military and the high power means that they're going to be very complex. They're going to take a while to be built. But a few being built sooner is still nice. And of course, the mines are going to be done relatively soon. We're only looking at like half a year until they're done, which will free up a lot of our options. If we go over to our shipyards and we start building a couple of squids. Yeah, we'll build them into Battlefleet. They are auxiliary stuff, so we'll build 2 for now. We'll probably want to build more later, but 2 for now. We also do need to go to Earth, and since we can't use those anti-missile missiles, we'll need to build our own. We're going to build 1,000. And we'll say use, 50%. Okay, we just got our tech for jump drive efficiency 8, which means we can build 2 important things. Well, again, design. We can design our command cruiser and our flagship, which is more accurately going to be classed as a battleship, which should be pretty badass. So, this is good. We've gone forwards a fair amount in time. Let's check on a couple of things. Firstly, I want to check on Earth. How is our mining doing? Yeah, the geranium is still could be better, but for now it's holding. And we have available workers, which is nice. We can always send them places. Perfect. Titan, how are you feeling? We're actually gonna go through like 500,000 tritanium pretty damn quick. Sorry about that. At least you've got coronium for another, 200 years. So we should be stable now in terms of coronium. We're gonna keep pumping out mines, etc. But we're coming up on the end of the decade when we're gonna have a change of leadership and, well, potentially have a change of leadership, maybe not. And the Colony Act becomes the thing I don't have to worry about. At which point, I think, unless anything stops me, I'm just going to settle everything in sight with a little bit of population. That way, that little bit can just be left to grow, and we can just expand I will continue to try and put like a military base down in Agent and Subject Delta, but I'd also prefer to add one to Sleepy Zoe. That's kind of another important location for us. And I guess maybe at some point we'd want to add one to Idril, or maybe Barathor if we expand forwards, but probably Idril. Even if it is next to Agent, or at least some sort of something there, because I don't want Aliwaz coming under attack, especially considering there is a thing in Darlock. And we do want to find out what's going on in Darlock as well. So, yes. We also probably want to put down some better defenses. Our current missile platforms are definitely getting towards the end of their life, and we could do with replacing them. Our missile tech is a little bit old. The engines are pretty nice, but, like, we do need to update the rest of them. Beyond that, we're in a pretty reasonable position, except for, you know, the 5 ether rifts there now are. We're up to 5. That's a lot of ether rifts that are happening. Oh dear. But at least next time we've got a flagship and a command cruiser to design. So that should be pretty nice. I've been EnterElysium. Like, subscribe, check out the Discord for the interactivity, and of course, until next time, stay shiny.